man was a father. He's a husband. I despise a lot of the things he said. I thought he spread a lot of bad things.
Like what?
Okay, let's start off with Paul Pelosi. Okay, so, and I've watched this video extensively, and listen, he called out what happened to Paul Pelosi, the bludgeoned with a hammer, right? Yeah. He said, oh, that was horrible what happened to him. But then with a smile on his face, this was like a day or two after. And by the way, Paul Pelosi almost was killed, okay? The guy's in jail right now. He said he would call one of his listeners a hero if someone put up the bail for this guy. He said it with a smirk on his face, and let's ask him some questions. He said it with a smile on his face. That would be like me going on the air, which, by the way, I would never do, and say, hey, let's raise some money for Tyler Robinson, and let's ask him some questions. And if you raise money for Tyler Robinson and get him out of prison on bail, you're a hero. Tim, that is despicable. I am not a Nancy Pelosi fan. I'm not a Paul Pelosi fan. The guy almost died, okay? I played the clip. You could play it for yourself. I think it's despicable.
Yeah, we should play it.
Well, and Brian, real quick, I mean, you're saying that you just disagreed with things he said, but
Sure.
On October 30th, you said he's worse than garbage.
Yeah, I thought Charlie Kirk was garbage. I stand by that statement, and I'll give you reasons why.
On July 7th, you said you hated him.
Yeah.
I don't believe you that you just disagreed with things he said. That sounds like
Okay, wait, hold on a second.
I'll happily answer that. I'll defend everything that I've said about
Now,
Kirk.
I'm not going to outright defend every component of what Kirk said, but there is a little bit more context.
Yeah, I know there's context.
Charlie Kirk was saying so this is in the context of not knowing why the attacker did it. The speculation from a lot of people was that there was some illicit activity going on with the Pelosi's.
Which was not true.
It didn't make sense that they didn't have proper security. Who was this weird guy? Charlie Kirk said, bail him out and ask him some questions.
The guy almost died. Now, listen, let me be clear.
Let me give you contemporary context matters.
You could do a 2-hour podcast, and in 99% of that podcast, you can call out what happened to Paul Pelosi. But with a smile on your face, if you call somebody a hero for bailing a guy out who almost killed somebody,
I mean, I'm looking at Politico.com.
Like
I'm looking at the New York Times.
I hate that.
I'm looking
It's
at
hard
all
to
these
believe.
places,
that.
and there's a little bit of mention here. For example, Politico says top Republicans reject any link between GOP rhetoric and Paul Pelosi assault. Of course you should reject any link. Why is the Republican Party, why is the conservative movement to blame for gay schizophrenic nudists that are hemp jewelry makers breaking into somebody's home, or maybe not breaking into somebody's home? Why are we to blame for that exactly?
See, I got to pause real quick.
That's not the clip that I was talking about, but yeah, go ahead.
Contemporary, there's more. It's
Gotcha.
another minute.
I got you.
The contemporary context is what's important. We cannot look back after already knowing the details you know and scoff at a comment made at a time when we didn't know.
Okay, but here's what I will say to
And
that.
why is he still in jail? Why has he not been bailed out? By the way, if some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco or the Bay Area wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go and bail this guy out. I bet his bail's like $30,000 or $40,000. Bail him out and then go ask him some questions.
It's not a hero, Tim.
No matter what his bail is, they're going after him with attempted murder, political assassination, all this sort of stuff. I'm not qualifying it. I think it's awful. It's not right. But why is it that in Chicago you're able to commit murder and be out the next day? Why is it that you're able to trespass, second-degree murder, arson, threat of public official, cashless bail? This happens all over San Francisco, but if you go after the Pelosi's...
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's not
true.
So
the full context is whether he's right or wrong.
He was wrong. Attempted murder, he's wrong.
He's making an argument that in these jurisdictions, they tend to revolving door a lot of these criminals, but not the guy who attacked Paul Pelosi. And he's making 2 points as it pertains to a midterm hero who would bail him out, and that is show Democrats this is what you do, and also ask him questions, because at the time, they didn't know if this guy was like buying drugs or something.
I understand what you're saying, but the point that I'm just trying to make here, and I can give you many of other examples, the day after somebody is almost killed with a hammer, you can have a conversation about, well, geez, why are these people not getting bailed out, and why are these people getting bail? To call somebody a hero or a patriot...
A midterm hero.
Yeah. He also a patriot Just like, it's
I
funny.
think they'd be a patriot
it's
because
ridiculous.
they would be able to ask this guy questions, which
That's
got
not your-
information, which
Ask him
then
questions.
affected the
guy-
midterms.
Don't you think it'd be a little bit more prevalent for law enforcement to ask him questions than somebody who bails him out? It's ridiculous.
It's immaterial. I give Charlie Kirk's statement here a D-.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I don't think it was a good thing to say, but I understand the greater context of what he was saying. Albeit Charlie has had many statements where it's like, Charlie, you could have said that a lot better. If he came out, you shouldn't call someone a hero over this. It was very, very bad. At the time, we were all speculating as to what this actually could have been because it was weird that the Pelosi's wouldn't have active security.
Did Matt Gaetz or Ted Cruz apologize when they tweeted out that it was some sort of gay, retweeted and tweeted out that it was a gay
Look,
relationship?
if you want to nitpick every time someone posted some silly nonsense,
Let's call it all out. It's wrong. But why don't they
Sure.
apologize for it? Why don't they retract? They never apologize.
because it's a war.
That's not a legitimate excuse.
It's not
the
an
terrorist
excuse.
attack in
It's
New
an
Orleans.
objective fact.
The terrorist attack in New Orleans. We were being told that it was an undocumented
no
immigrant.
one's excusing. The fact of the matter is,
Why can't people
Two
apologize?
factions are trying to rip each other to shreds, and you're not going to convince people on the right to apologize when the left doesn't apologize either.
I disagree with you.
The left is not going to apologize, bro.
Okay, I can give you many examples of the left.
I can give you
apologizing,
many
including
examples
Joe
of the
Biden.
right apologizing.
When's Donald Trump apologized for something?
Donald Trump?
Yeah, he's the
Singular
leader of
example.
the Republican Party.
Singular. When has Obama apologized for the drone strikes?
Well, that's your opinion.
No,
I'm
the
talking
point
about
is-
comments that you've made, and
We can easily pull up instances where the left and the right have apologized for things. As to each other, it is mostly, and this is the funny thing, because I always find myself in these positions where I'm like, yes, the right's not going to apologize. And leftists are like, the right, you are unable to step back from your position and see what's going on. I am telling you, the right is going to say nasty things about the left and never apologize for it, and the left is going to say nasty things about the right and never apologize for it.
Doesn't make it right.
Because indeed, it's not right. It doesn't matter. It's a war. Donald Trump going after Letitia James and Adam Schiff is not because he's like, I want retribution. It's because he's like, I'm at war with these people. He is going after them for,
I understand what you're saying.
I would say, tangible political effects that he wants to obtain. He's not like Adam Schiff's going to suffer. He's going, take Adam Schiff off the chessboard.
okay, I understand, Tim. I understand what you're saying, but it goes back to my original question, which I disagree with you on. And if you could give me another example, can you name me? And again, I'm sorry for the loss of your friend. I am a compassionate person. What happened to him is terrible, and I want to emphasize that over and over again. And by the way, any Democrat, anybody, I'm not talking about elected official, who has celebrated his death is despicable. And I've called that out on my show constantly. We need to call out political violence on both sides. It does happen on both sides. We had a guy go into a church in Michigan who was a huge Trump supporter who shot up a bunch of people. I'm just making
What
the
was
case.
that one?
He went in there. He's a huge, staunch Trump supporter. He went in there and
Why
he
did
shot
he
a bunch
do
of
it?
people. People are saying because he was anti-Christian. It was a Christian
No,
hate
this
crime.
was the Mormon, right?
I don't know what his religion was. I just know that
This
he was a
was
Trump
the
supporter.
right, but this was a Trump supporter. Indeed, he had American flags. But
Sure,
he had
sure.
the attack wasn't political.
But
Yeah. This was the guy had a problem with individuals in the church. And was
Right.
getting,
So
so
he was a Republican. He was a Trump
That's not
supporter.
political violence.
Okay, well, listen.
I also don't believe your full-throated condemnation when you said you hate him and you believe
Yeah.
he's worse than garbage. I think Osama bin Laden was that, and I celebrated.
Okay, so there's
Why
a
aren't you
difference.
celebrating?
Okay, I hate people that
He hates people. He admitted it. We got you.
He said he hates Charlie Kirk.
I don't hate
man.
Tim. I don't hate Tim because we're both two bald white brothers. But I actually am enjoying this conversation, even though I've been called retarded. That's
You
okay.
can't, you
though.
can't do that. I'm mixed race. You can't. You're oppressing me.
Listen, I'm going to be very clear on this, okay? I hated Charlie Kirk.
I can tell.
Okay, now, it doesn't mean that I wanted him to be murdered. I want to be very clear on that. He was a father. He was a husband. My understanding, he was a good father, right? I hate the constant attacks on brown people, on gay people, on women who get abortions, calling them murderers, which, by the way, he's called time and time again, which I think is absurd. I don't like what he stood for. Now, I give him credit for building what he built with Turning Point USA. Quite an accomplishment, the following that he had. But I'm not going to celebrate his life. I would certainly never celebrate his death. I can tell you, I hate Donald Trump.
Look.
I hate everything he stands for. Doesn't mean that I want him to be assassinated, because I don't. What happened to Charlie Kirk is terrible for the country. It's terrible. It's terrible what happened that day. I know people that were 10 feet away. It's awful. And I was emotional because I'm a human being and I have compassion for people. I can hate what somebody stands for and still have compassion for somebody.
I didn't have compassion for Osama bin Laden.
I'm not. You think I would compare? Hold on a second. That's ridiculous. You think I would compare Charlie Kirk to being a mass murderer and a
Yes, you said
terrorist?
he's worse than garbage.
Okay, saying somebody is worse than garbage is not saying that I think he's a terrorist that's responsible for murdering hundreds of that. That's a ridiculous
But let's
statement.
let's move a little bit forward because we've got a few minutes left. And
Okay.
You brought up abortion.
Yeah.
I'm curious what your abortion position is.
Oh boy, we're another.
I know it's the hottest subject. It's like the hardest.
So here's
one.
my opinion, Tim. Okay, if it was like a 6-month or 4-month thing, I would be okay with that. I think it's reprehensible if there are women out there that are using abortion as birth control. But I don't want to tell
6
a woman.
months.
I don't want to tell a woman what to do with her body. Okay, I don't want the government involved in telling women what to do with their bodies. I don't know what it's like to be pregnant. Yes, I can.
6 months is viable.
Okay, well maybe 4 months. I'd be okay with that as well. But especially in some states in this country, if you're the victim of incest or rape, you have to be forced to have that child. I find that to be reprehensible. And for the people out there that are so anti-abortion, and I don't call it pro-life, for the people out there that are anti-abortion, I ask you this question. How many people have you adopted? How many children have you adopted?
A lot, actually.
Okay, well, I know a lot of people that have not. And there are hundreds of thousands of kids right now, Tim, that are waiting to be adopted. Okay? If abortion is illegal across the country, what are we going to do with all those kids?
It's a responsibility thing too, though.
But this is hold on. This is not a real argument. This is like.
You think abortion's murder?
Well, so if we can adopt every kid,
hold on. The adoption thing is a meme. I think it's like a generality that's not correct. I think the highest rates of adoption are among pro-life religious families, like the Coney Barrett.
evangelicals, Catholics.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. And this is not a real argument by the numbers.
And also, if we were to have every child adopted, can we then ban abortion?
Listen, if you want to have
how
100,
about that?
if you want to have 100 kids, Tim, wearing beanies, you're allowed to do that. And I would say have as many children as you like. But I don't like telling other people what to do. You can vote for who you want. You can have an abortion. Listen, it's a very difficult thing for any woman to choose to do so. But I don't want to tell, just like I didn't want people to be forced to get the jab.
Abortion as contraception, you think should be allowed. Not good, but legal.
I think that's reprehensible. I'd also be okay with, limiting how many abortions somebody could have. Obviously, if somebody has 5 abortions,
We got a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Culture War podcast. We're live every Friday, 10 a.m. to noon, so subscribe and come hang out.